Senator Hillary Clinton's mama. So with the Ragin' Cajuns inspiration, we present Mama versus Obama. Campaign 08 is number 3 on our countdown. It's still very early, but today's New York Times says even in New York, where Senator Clinton is popular, she cannot necessarily count on the support of black Democrats. A big reason, Senator Obama's spectacular ability to raise money as fast as the two-term senator and former First Lady. There's also a reported growing sense of pride about Senator Obama among black Democrats. Influential Harlem Assemblyman Adam Clayton Powell IV telling the Times he hasn't made up his mind, but, quote, I would have supported Hillary if it were not for Barack Obama. And from State Senator Kevin Parker, quote, it has been complicated by Senator Obama's presence. I think people are split. And then there's the latest Zogby poll of Democrats in South Carolina, an important primary where black voters are a formidable force. Senator Clinton leads the pack among likely Democratic voters, but she leads her Senate colleague by only 7%. And the same poll shows even slimmer leads in early states like New Hampshire and Iowa, but let's be real, New Hampshire has a black population of 1%, Iowa 2%. Chris Eliza writes The Fix, the political blog for WashingtonPost.com. Chris, thanks for being with us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Allison.
Now, should the Clinton campaign be worried? Could it be why we see more of Mr. Clinton on the campaign trail?
Sure. I mean, of course they should be worried. The reality is she started this race as the overwhelming front-runner. Everyone expected her to have twice as much money as any other candidate, and she's now in a dogfight. The one point I would make, though, before we write Senator Clinton's political obituary, is that Barack Obama has gotten a lot of people to stay neutral. They haven't necessarily endorsed Barack Obama. So while there are still some people neutral who might already be with Senator Clinton if Barack Obama wasn't in this race, they're not necessarily going in droves to Senator Obama. It remains to be seen. They may wind up doing it, but I just don't think we should paint it as sort of a rush to Senator Obama at the moment. He's keeping them neutral. He's keeping them undecided at the moment, where no other candidate probably would have.
Now, you wrote last week that Obama, the spotlight on him is a double-edged sword, and sure enough, stories out of Chicago saying that one of his biggest contributors is an indicted developer, a slumlord, the article even called him. How serious is this?
Well, you know, the reality is very little was known about Barack Obama other than that he gave a very inspirational speech at the 2004 Democratic National Convention. As he becomes a bigger entity in this race, as people get to know more about him, we're going to see stories like this. This story is about a developer who Obama has had a several decade-long relationship with, given to his campaigns, has also been involved in developing some low-income properties that have gone bankrupt. The question is did Obama do anything wrong, nefarious? That's not been proven. Look, the fact that he had a friend who happens to now be indicted does not mean that Barack Obama did anything wrong, but it's the kind of scrutiny, it's the kind of microscope that he's going to be under from now until the primary.
All right, Chris, well, as long as we're looking under rocks and behind doors, a story in your paper last week said John Edwards' single largest corporate contributor is a New York hedge fund he once worked for. Deal or no big deal?
Well, you know, I think, and I would put the Obama story in the same light, I think both of them can be a big deal. That is, if they wind up playing into a larger narrative. For Edwards, that larger narrative that he wants to avoid is, this is a multimillionaire trial lawyer standing up for the poor. Does he really mean it? Does he live his own life through it? Or is he feathering his own nest while saying corporations shouldn't do it? So if it plays into that larger narrative, it could be destructive for Senator Edwards. We haven't seen it play out yet. We've still got a lot of time, but it's a thread of a narrative to watch.
But we're going to get our first look at all these people together at the upcoming debate this week. So as a political reporter, what are you going to be looking for Thursday night when you watch the debate? And I know you'll watch it on MSNBC.
Well, I'll be there, but if I wasn't there, I'd watch it on MSNBC. Okay. I'm excited. You know, what I'm really looking forward is, how do these people engage with one another? They've been in a lot of forums together, but those forums, they didn't address one another directly. They're all going to be on one stage. Who takes shots? Does Bill Richardson or Chris Dodd or Joe Biden take a shot at Senator Clinton or Obama or Edwards? How does the frontrunner deal with it? Do they engage? Do they ignore? All those kinds of things are going to be real interesting, at least from my perspective as a political junkie.
It's so interesting that you just mentioned Biden and Dodd and Richardson. Is there going to be any air in the room for them?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think there's a real question about that. The attention clearly to this point is focused on Edwards and Clinton and Obama. I think they're going to make it. If I know Joe Biden, he's not going to be silenced. I would say the same thing about Chris Dodd.
Chris Eliza, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Allison.
If Mama or Obama or any Democrat or Rama manages to break from the pack, you'll see it right here Thursday night on MSNBC. Join Keith Olbermann, Chris Matthews, and Tom Brokaw for pre-debate debate coverage. Then the debate begins with nightly news anchor Brian Williams moderating at 7 p.m. right here on MSNBC, the place for politics. New details about the car crash involving New Jersey Governor John Corzine. Do they love